What are the most important things that you must teach your dog if you want to have a perfect canine companion? Well, that's exactly what I want to break down in this video. I want to give you the areas of focus that are non-negotiable, that you must do if you want to have a perfect canine companion. And that is speaking from my years of experience of a canine behaviourist, seeing where things go wrong, and they often go terribly wrong. That if they'd have just put these things in place, they would have had the perfect canine companion that they wanted, rather than the dog nightmare that they ended up with. So the first of three things is what most people think of when they think of training their dog, and that is obedient style training. Yes, that is incredibly important, but a lot of people just do some obedience with them. Maybe they join some puppy classes, they do a Saturday morning for an hour or two for 6 weeks and think that that is their dog trained. Now, obedience is incredibly important, and I have a few mandatory pieces of obedience that I think every dog should focus on. That is a nice heel walk, so you can ask your dog to walk nicely on your side on a loose lead. A sit, stay, and break is super useful. A recall means that you can keep them safe and under control at all times. And then a few little nice to-haves are things like a place command and up, so they can jump in and out of the car and things like that dead easily. But it really isn't a huge list of obedience that is what's required to have a perfect canine companion. I purposefully keep the list very small so that we're not overwhelmed and we can focus on mastering the basics, because that is all you need. And in 12 months' time, when the novelty of your new dog wears off, if your dog can spin, play dead, roll over, won't mean anything if when you want to take them for a coffee shop, they're losing their mind and barking at everybody. No one's going to care that they can do fun tricks. However, if you can just master those basics of sit, stay, and walk nicely, come back when I ask, you can have a safe and under control dog that people will be envious of. Which takes us nicely onto the second thing that you need to focus on, and that is manners. Now, manners is a harder thing to quantify, and that's why lots of people like to focus on obedience. You need to teach your dog to sit. There's a way to teach your dog to sit, and when your dog can sit, it's a big tick in the box. Manners isn't necessarily like that. Having a well-mannered dog isn't necessarily something that you can just tick in the box once after you've taught it. Having a well-mannered dog is something that you're going to need to be working on for the rest of you and your dog's time together. Now, what is a well-mannered dog? Well, for me, a well-mannered dog is one that is quiet and calm, which means that they'll settle down nicely in the house, whether that's in their bed, in their crate, or when you're traveling with them in the car. They're just calm, chill, relaxed, nice to be with. They're not squealing, they're not howling, they're not being destructive. They have good toilet manners, so they know where they need to go to the toilet, and they're not doing that inside the home. They have good threshold manners, which means they're not barging through doorways, dragging you out of the front door when you take them for a walk. And they have good greeting manners. So when you're out in public, they're not jumping up people, they're not being a nuisance, they're not barking or crying for attention. Again, they're just sitting and waiting and being calm, nice, well-mannered dogs. And that isn't, again, something that you just teach once. That is an expectation that you need to have of your dog from the day you get them through to the last day that you'll spend together. And that is insisting that they are well-mannered dogs. Now, one of the ways that you can do a little sneaky cheat hack to get this to happen is what I call my sit, stay, break drill. If everything good in your dog's life, and I mean meal times, I mean access to toys, access to jumping up on the furniture, access to praise and attention, comes through them sitting, waiting calmly and quietly, and then you giving them what they want, what you will find is that your dog will start offering that as a behaviour. As a byproduct, they become a well-mannered dog. If your dog wants attention from you, they could jump up you, and if they jump up you, when they're puppies, you give them attention, they'll learn that's how they get attention. However, if you insist on that every time you give them attention, they sit and they wait just for a second or two to begin with, but you could build that up to 10 seconds, 30 seconds, 60 seconds, 2 minutes, and then give them some attention every single time with consistency of everybody that interacts with the dog. Every single time they want attention, what will they do? They will sit, wait calmly, with good manners, to gain that attention. Be calm, be quiet, sit and wait with good manners. For me, if that's all you do with your dog, you will have a better dog than 99% of dog owners out there. But when you pair that with those other pieces of basic obedience, now we're rocking and rolling. But that's 2 out of 3 things. If we truly want the perfect canine companion, we also have to think about the third piece of this puzzle. And the third piece of the puzzle when it comes to having a perfect canine companion is socialization. But socialization is the thing that the vast majority of people get wrong with their dogs. What socialization is not is you just taking your dog everywhere and anywhere and letting them do what they want and when they want. What socialization is desensitizing your dog to as many different triggers as possible so that their arousal levels stay nice and low regardless of what's going on. With nice low arousal levels, it means that they can stay focused on us, and it means that we can utilize our obedience and manners work successfully. If our dog is constantly losing their mind because they're in situations that they've never encountered before, we're going to be battling with them to utilize that obedience and manners. If they're just like, yeah, cool, I've seen that, that doesn't bother me, then they're going to be much easier to use the obedience and manners. So yes, we can take them to see lots of different things, and that is a part of socialization. But if you go and do that, and every time they see loads of other dogs, it's a crazy eruption of play, all we're teaching them is that when you see loads of other dogs, have that arousal spike and we're going to lose. However, if we gradually build that up over time, and if we make sure that when we're building up that socialization, we're keeping our dogs as low aroused as possible and focusing on us, looking up to us for guidance and direction, displaying good manners, rewarding them when they do so, not only are we going to desensitize to the triggers, but we're going to help our dog understand that no matter what's going on around you, if you focus on me, if you look up to me, if you listen to me, everything's going to be fine. And when you put that together with good manners and good obedience, you have the perfect canine companion. It isn't rocket science, but it's commitment to the basics, and you will have the dog that people are envious of, regardless of the kind of fancy tricks or obedience that you taught them. Basic obedience, rock solid commitment to great manners, and socializing them properly, you'll have the perfect canine companion.